So just coming down to your mat. Take a moment here. We're just going to get centered, focused, come into the present moment, the here and the now. And as you close your eyes and relax, connect with your breath. Perhaps you might want to even take your hands and just rest them on your belly. And remember, you want to inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Feel the rise and fall of the belly. And then take a moment and bring your awareness to your heart center and set an intention. A positive, personal, loving statement, or perhaps it's even a word. And then silently repeat that intention in your mind. Try to go back to it throughout our practice this afternoon. Maybe you'll even carry it with you throughout your evening. And release your arms down along your sides. And if your knees are bent, let's straighten everything out and then reach those arms overhead, giving yourself a really nice big full body stretch. And then just sweep the arms down. And then we're going to bend the knees. So we're going to bend the knees here. And we're going to do just this gentle moving bridge pose here. So your knees are bent and they're about fist distance apart. And then you're going to reach your arms overhead and then just gently lift the hips just a couple inches. Doesn't have to be a big range of motion here. And then just lower down. And nice and slow. So you lift up the seat and then the low back, a little bit of the middle back. And then as you lower the arms down again, slowly lower, middle back, lower back, and seat. It's just this gentle moving bridge. It should feel really nice on your low back. And then we'll do one more. And then we'll bring the knees into the chest and let's circle around. And then reverse your circles. And then we're going to lower the feet down. We're just going to do a gentle twist here. I'm going to stretch my arms out, shoulder height. And the palms can be either up or down. It just kind of depends on how how your shoulders feel. Whatever feels better to you is fine. And then we're going to drop the knees to the right and look over the left shoulder. And then we'll come back to center. And then we're going to reverse our twist. So I'm going to drop my knees to the left and look over my right shoulder. And then come back to center. All right, so we're going to get into our hips a little bit here. So we're going to send our left leg long on the mat, and then we're going to bring the right knee in towards the chest. And I have my hands interlaced below the knee. You can also come under the thigh if that bothers your knee for any reason. And then we're just going to make some circles here. So it's as if I'm just tracing a circle here on the ceiling with my knee. So I'm just going to get into the hip a little bit. And then reverse the circle. And then we're going to stay on the right side, and I'm going to lower my foot down, and then I'm going to drop my knee open so it's like a reclined tree pose here. So we're getting a little stretch there in the inner thigh and the hip. And you can rest your hands along your side if you want to bring them up like you would be in your standing tree pose. Just take a few nice deep breaths here. And then you'll bring the knee back in, just give it a hug, and then release that leg down. And then we're going to bend our left knee, and we're going to bring that into the chest, and we're going to do some circles here. And then we'll reverse. And then we'll send the left foot down, and then we're going to drop that open into our reclined tree pose on this side. And then we'll bring that back to center. Give that knee a little bit of a hug. And then we'll release that down. Now, we're going to still get into the hips a little bit here. Is we're going to bend both the knees, and then you're going to just lift the feet up a little bit, and then just take one hand and just gently place it on top of each knee. And we're going to bring the knees to touch, and then we're going to make these circles here. So we're getting back into the hips. Now it's two separate circles. So just like you're tracing two circles here, each knee is making its own circle. And then you'll reverse. Now we're going to come into a bigger hip opener here, our reclined bound angle pose. So drop the feet down, knees drop open as you press the soles of the feet feet together. Resting your hands again wherever they're comfortable here. And then you'll just take your hands to the outside of the knees, just kind of bring the knees together. We'll keep those knees bent and touching, but then move your feet about mat width apart. So you're just gonna let those knees fall in. And then we'll walk the feet in a little bit here. Let's just kind of tick-tock them back and forth. And we're gonna move on to some stretches here for our legs. This is gonna be for the hamstring. So we're gonna take the strap or whatever you have, and you're gonna place it around the bottom of the right foot, and then I'm gonna extend my right leg up to the ceiling. So I'm gonna get that nice hamstring stretch here. So if it feels better on your low back, you can keep your left knee bent, or you can extend your left leg long on your mat. So whatever feels better to you. And then I'm holding on to my strap and I'm trying to get my leg as straight as I can. Do keep the hips down though. And if you're very tight and you're just don't try to force your leg. You can always have it on a little bit of an angle and you'll still get that stretch. And then I'm going to push through the heel. My toes are coming towards my face. Again, just getting a really nice stretch in that hamstring. And then keep both ends of the strap or whatever you're using in your right hand. And just take your left hand on your left hip. And then we're going to drop the leg to the right. Pushing through the heel. You'll probably feel that in your inner thigh. It's getting into the hip a little bit too. And then come to center. And then we're going to take it over to the left. Push through the heel. Feel that nice stretch in the outer thigh. And then we'll bring it back to center. And then you'll lower that down. And then we'll switch it out. So I'm going to take the strap around the bottom of my left foot here and extend that left leg up to the ceiling. And then my right leg, again, you can have your leg long, you can bend the knee. Again, just kind of try it both ways, see which one feels better on your back. And then I'm pushing through the heel and I'm getting that big stretch in the hamstring. And then take both ends of the strap in your left hand. You can take your right hand on your hip. And then we're going to start to open it up to the left. Push through the heel. So really feel that stretch there in the inner thigh. And then we'll come to center. And then you can take both ends of the strap in the right hand. We're going to bring that left leg over to the right. Feeling the stretch in the outer thigh, maybe even a little bit into your glute. And then we will come back to center. And then lower that leg down. Extend everything long here. And then just give yourself a nice big stretch. And then bend the knees. And then gently roll over to one side. Take your time. And then you can push yourself up to a seated position. Now, I'm in my, we call this Sukhasana or easy pose. So I'm sitting cross-legged, but if that bothers your knees or your hips, you can always send your legs straight out in front of you. Okay, so just be comfortable here. And then we're sitting up nice and tall. You can close the eyes here, just take a few nice deep breaths. And then I'm going to tilt my right ear to my right shoulder. And then come to center. I'm going to tilt my left ear to my left shoulder. And then come back to center. Now I'm just going to turn my head to the right. Slowly come back and turn to the left. Come back to center. Drop the chin towards the chest. Again, we're just working on this neck here. Come to center, tilt the chin up towards the ceiling. And then come back to center. And then now we're just going to do our circles here. Again, you can close your eyes. And then reverse. And then come back to center. Just kind of let your head wobble a little bit here. And then take your hands on the outside of your knees. If your legs are stretched out though, you're going to want to have them on top of your thighs here. And we're just going to do our circles. So this is real nice for the low back. And then reverse. And then come back to center. Now, if you're sitting cross-legged, let's send our legs straight out in front of us. And then just bounce them up and down a little bit here. And then we're going to get a little bit into our shoulders here. So first, let's get this nice stretch for the upper back. So we're going to bring, and the shoulders, bring those arms all the way up and then interlace your fingers and then bring the hands to about your nose, elbows wide. And then flip the palms towards your toes. And then we're just gonna push forward. And just kind of drop your chin towards your chest here. And then we'll come on up. Bring the arms behind you, press into your mat, open your chest up. And then come back to a neutral spine. So we're gonna get again into the shoulders here. So we're gonna make these two fists, and I'm just gonna circle around a little bit here. And then reverse. And then we're going to get a little deeper into our shoulders with our eagle arms. Now I'm going to show another option here. So eagle arms, we're going to start with the right on top. Right arm comes over, under, and then around, okay? Now, if this is not available for you, if eagle arms are just not working, that's not a problem. What you'll do is you'll give yourself this hug, and then my right arm is on top and my elbows are stacked up. So that's an option for you. So again, we're going to start with the right on top. So either eagle arms or the hug. And then I'm going to lift my elbows up and away, just lean back a little bit here. And then you'll come forward and then bring those elbows down a little bit, just a little bit of a fold. And then come back up and unwrap and shake it out. And we'll do the other side. So you can do the eagle arms or the hug, and your left arm would be on top for either one. And then I'm going to lift my elbows up. I'm just going to lean back a little bit here. And then come down a little bit, elbows come down. And then let's come back up. And then we will release that. And then let's roll the shoulders around a little bit. And then we'll do a couple things here for our wrists. So we're just going to do some wrist circles here. So just make a couple of loose fists here. And then let's circle the wrists around. And then reverse. And then open the hands up and bring the fingertips up towards you and then down towards the floor. So again, just kind of stretching out the wrists a little bit. Sometimes we forget about them. It's important that you do stretch them and move them. And then I'm going to wiggle my fingers and then shake my wrists out. All right, so we're going to move on. We're going to take our strap again, and we're going to place it around the bottom of the right foot. And then I'm going to bend my left knee and place the sole of my left foot on the inside of the right thigh. And I'm going to widen out a little bit here. So I'm in this V here. And first we're going to stretch the side of our body, and then we're going to turn it into a fold. So you want to hold your strap pretty far down towards your foot or your ankle. And then we're going to lift our left arm up, back, and over. Just getting a nice side stretch here. You don't even have to go very far. And then we'll come on up. Now I'm going to turn towards that right knee and fold forward. And then we'll come on up. Extend your legs long here, maybe bounce them up and down a little bit, and then we'll do the other side. So I'm going to take my strap around the bottom of my left foot, and then I'm going to bend my right knee and place the sole of my right foot on the inside of that thigh, and I'm going to open up a little bit into this V here. And then I'm going to take both ends of the strap in my left hand, and again, my hand is pretty close to the ankle. And then I'm going to reach my right arm back up and over. So stretching out that right side. And then we'll come on up. And then now we're going to turn towards that left knee and fold forward. And then come on up. And you can get rid of your strap, just kind of set it off to the side. And then just kind of bounce your legs up and down a little bit here. And then we'll get into our core a bit here with our boat pose. And I will show all the different options. And I'm going to turn sideways so you can see me. So this is going to strengthen our core muscles. You can, option one, you could bend your knees here and then have your hands down. Nice open chest here, and then you can lift the feet up. It's a really great option, and it really strengthens those core muscles. Or if you want maybe a little bit more of a challenge, you can bend the knees and then I just have my hands behind my thighs. So that's another option for your boat pose. Or your third option would be to straighten the legs and then reach your arms forward. So whichever one of those works good for you. And then you'll lower down, bend your knees, give yourself a hug. And then we'll extend our legs long and we'll take a simple seated forward fold, which will feel really nice after that. So strap will go around both of the feet again. So sitting up nice and tall. As you inhale, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, fold forward. Leading with the chin and the chest. And then we'll come on up and you can set your strap off to the side. And then we'll make our way to our tabletop position, coming to all fours. So coming into that tabletop position here, we're going to move into our cat and cows, which are really great for your back. As you exhale, you'll round up into your cat, and then you'll inhale, you'll lower the belly down for cow. Keep going. We'll do one more. And then we're going to get into another nice shoulder stretch here, our thread the needle. So we're going to take our right arm and lift it up towards the ceiling, right arm. And then we're going to scoop it under the left. Bring your right cheek to the mat for thread the needle. Now you can keep your left hand here where I have it. You can also place it on your low back if you'd like, or you can even send it out towards the top of your mat. So if one of those options feels good, you can do that. And then we'll take our left hand, we're going to push ourselves up, reach your right arm up, and let's just take a big circle. And then reverse. Okay, we'll do the other side. So I'm going to take my left arm up, reaching through the fingertips, and then I'm going to scoop it under the right, thread the needle on this side, bring my cheek down to the mat. And again, you can stay here, or you can take your right hand on your low back or stretch it out. And then use your right hand to push yourself up, reaching that left arm up, and then just take a nice big circle with the arm. And then reverse. And then we'll make our way back to our tabletop position. Now, we're going to come into a low lunge. So you're going to step your right foot in between your hands. You can see my knees bent here, but it's in line with the ankle. Get your balance here. And then we'll come on up to the thigh. And then we're going to sweep the arms up. Now I'm going to add a twist to this. So I'm going to bring my hands to my heart, and then I'm going to twist to the right. And then unwind from your twist, and then we'll bring the arms back up, back into our lunge. And then you're going to lower down, lower the hands down, and then we'll step that right foot back. And then we're going to do our lunge on the left side. So plant the hands, you're going to step your left foot in between those hands. My knees in line with the ankle here. And then come on up, again, get your balance. So come up to the thigh, and then we'll bring those arms up. And then bring your hands to your heart. We're going to take a twist now to the left. And then unwind. We'll bring those arms all the way up again. And then lower the hands down. And then we'll step back and we're going to be back into our tabletop position. And then I'm going to come on up to my knees. So I'm coming up to my knees here. Now, we're going to come into our back bend, and it's camel pose. So I'm going to show the gentle version of it. You can either take 2 fists at your low back, or you can place your hands on your low back. You're going to keep the shoulders away from those ears and then open your chest and lean back. And then we're going to come to a neutral spine. And then we're going to come into child's pose. We want to counter that. So my knees are wide, bringing my toes to touch, sitting back on my heels and resting my head. And then we're going to make our way back up. Now, we're going to come to standing. We'll do a few things standing this afternoon. So you can certainly come right up to a standing forward fold at this time. Or if you want, you can come to downward facing dog for a few breaths, and then we'll all meet in a standing forward fold. So I'll show the downward dog. Make sure those fingers are spread nice and wide. And then curl the toes under, sending your hips up towards the ceiling, pushing through those heels. And if you're in down dog, just bend your knees, look between your hands and just walk your feet forward. And then we'll all meet in this standing forward fold. And then we'll slowly come on up. Bring your palms together, your hands to your heart center. Stay here. Perhaps you go back to that intention that you set at the beginning of the practice. And then releasing your arms down, coming into your mountain pose. Lifting the shoulders up, back and down, nice open chest here. Take a few nice deep breaths. And then I'm going to turn so you can see me a little bit better. And you'll be at the top of your mat. And we're going to come into our Warrior 2 pose today. So Warrior 2. So sending your left foot back and your right foot forward. And the heels are in line. And again, you could always shorten this up a little bit, okay? If you need to. And then my hips are in line, and I'm going to bend my right knee. And my knee is in line with my ankle here, and it's tracking over my second and third toe. And then we're going to send those arms out and look over the right fingertips. We're going to flip the right palm, reach behind you for that reverse warrior. And then we'll come back to our warrior two. Now from here, we're going to come into our side angle pose. So we're just going to take that right forearm and just rest it on that right thigh. So it's very light. So you're not, leaning on the thigh. It's just there. And then you can take your left hand, you can wrap it around your low back if you'd like. You can reach it up towards the ceiling if you'd like, or along the ear. So wherever you'd like for this side angle pose. And then we'll come back to our warrior two. And then we'll lower the hands down. And then I'm going to spin my right foot forward here and take a wide-legged forward fold. You want to deepen the stretch here in your hamstrings. You can walk your hands back a little bit so they're in line with the feet. And then if you moved your hands back, just move them forward again. And then let's just heel toe the feet together. And then sweep your arms all the way up. Palms together, hands to heart center. And then coming back into your mountain pose. Now we're going to do that on the other side. So I'm going to turn so you can maybe see me a little bit better here. We're going to come into our warrior two on the left side. So my right foot's going to step back. And then you're going to want your heels in line here, your hips in line, bending the left knee, knees in line with the ankle here. And then you'll stretch your arms out. Warrior two. We'll reverse it, so flip your left palm, reach back, getting that nice side stretch. We'll come back to warrior two. And then I'm going to come into my side angle pose. So my left forearm is just going to come down to the left thigh. Get that shoulder back. And then again, you have the option here. You can take the right hand and just place it at your low back, or you can lift your arm up or over. Again, whatever option's good for you. And then we'll come back to our warrior two. And then we'll lower down and then spin your left foot forward. We're going to take another one of those wide-legged folds. And again, you want to get into the hamstrings a little bit more. You can walk your hands back in line with your feet. And then we're going to heel toe our feet together. Sweep your arms up. Bring your palms together, hands to your heart center. And then we'll come into our mountain pose again. Take a few nice deep breaths here. And then we're going to come into our balancing pose. So with your balancing pose, remember, you can always go over to a wall if you need to, or you can use a chair. So no worries for that. We're gonna do our balancing tree pose. And we're gonna start with the right leg as the supporting leg. So my right foot's down. And then I'm coming up, I'm bringing my heel to my ankle. And you can see I just kind of hinged open my hip. So in our tree pose, we get a nice hip opener. We also strengthen the ankles and the back. And of course, improve our balance. So, you know, it's really important that we do work on balance. And now this is, you know, kind of a beginner's option here, but you know, you can always come to, you can bring the foot up a little bit higher. I'm kind of using my big toe as a kickstand, or you can bring it below the knee as well. So if whatever's working for you for your tree pose. And then your arms can be down. You can have them at your heart. You can bring them up like branches. So wherever you are with your tree pose. And then we'll come on down. Let's march it out a little bit. And then we'll circle out that ankle a couple times, that supporting ankle, that right ankle. And then reverse. And then we'll switch it. So my left leg is down. Again, heel to the ankles, a really nice option, or you can bring it up a little bit higher or below the knee. So wherever you're at, and again, your arms can be wherever you'd like them. And then we'll come on down and then march it out a little bit here. And then we'll circle out that supporting ankle, that left ankle a couple times. Reverse. And then you'll make your way to the top of your mat. We're going to bring those arms all the way up and then come all the way down. Bend your knees. We'll come down to our tabletop position again. And I'm going to do a few rounds of my cat and cow. And then come to a nice flat back here. And then we're going to make our way onto our backs. So coming all the way down. And then we'll bend the knees. And then we'll bring them into our chest and circle around. And then reversing those circles. And then we'll send our left leg long on the mat. We'll keep the right knee hugged into the chest here. Let's just give that a couple circles. And reverse. And then we're going to take a nice twist here. This is also a great stretch for the low back. So keep your right knee hugged in, but send your right arm long. So out shoulder height. And then take your left hand to the outside of the right knee as you guide that knee across the left thigh, and then look over the right shoulder. And then we'll come back to center. Send your right leg long on the mat. This time, hug the left knee into the chest. Give it a nice squeeze here. We'll give it a couple circles. And then you'll reverse. And then we're going to stretch our left arm out, and I'm going to take my right hand to the outside of my left knee as I guide it across my right leg. Look over that left shoulder. Come back to center. And extend everything long on your mat. Reach your arms overhead. Give yourself a really big stretch. And then you'll make your way into Shavasana. So legs are usually open a little bit, the feet flop open, arms along the side, palms are up. But if something feels better to you, if you would rather bend your knees, or whatever feels good to you. So close your eyes, relax your body from the very crown of your head to your toes and everything in between. Quiet your mind and just be. And then deepen your breath. Make those tiny movements, wiggle your fingers, your toes. Gently roll your head from side to side. And then very slowly bend your knees and just gently roll over to one side of the body. Just rest your head on your arm or make a little pillow with your hands. And then use your hands to gently push yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Together, we're going to bring our hands in what we call the Anjali Mudra, which is the prayer mudra, thumbs to the heart center. The light in me acknowledges the light in you. May you have a happy, peaceful day. Namaste. Thank you for joining me, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day.